When playing Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, we've all been in this scenario, and that is to be on a team with a commander who is more of a detriment to you than the enemy's commander. But this is why I set out to find the most effective way to use the MAZ-49 GL, because when the commander isn't calling in artillery, well, I suppose this is better than nothing. Now, before I get into the video, I have a little bit of a confession to make, and I know that I portray myself as a very intellectual person on this channel, but I need to ask you something. For the people who have used the MAZ-49 GL, when you reload, have you been pressing the V key or the R key to reload? Because I'm not saying that I've been pressing the V key this whole time, but yeah, in a lot of the gameplay that you're about to see, I do press the V key, and I know that some people are like, why are you reloading it like that? Well, it's not like there's a fucking tutorial out there on how to use this weapon, except for this one. But yeah, I just want to clear this out right away. When you use this weapon in Mortar Mode, do not press the V key because it resets the freaking iron sights and everything. All you have to do is just press the R key and it'll reload a new grenade and it won't change your rangefinder. But anyways, let's get into the video. So what are we working with? We have a MAZ-49, which is in my opinion the best VC weapon, but one thing to note is that the MAZ-49 has a lot more recoil, primarily because it has a different muzzle, but this allows us to fire explosives off the end of it in the style of a mortar or in the style of a normal traditional grenade launcher. And these grenades they are absolutely devastating, especially when compared to the 40mm grenades and regular hand grenades. When using this weapon, do expect to get lots of assists, because even if you aren't getting kills, you most likely are suppressing them and making it harder for them to shoot back at your teammates. And I also advise you be cautious when using this in close proximity. Now, if you are a complete beginner like my friends and had no idea how to use these things when I try to get gameplay with them, I will explain the very basics and some strategies that you can employ to use this weapon to the best of your abilities. Now, this weapon is only available to the NLF Sapper, and to equip grenades you need to press the V key. Now, you can use it as a normal grenade launcher or you can use it in the style of a mortar, but the default range is set to 50 meters, and unless you have some self-destructive tendencies, you might want to aim down sight and use the scroll wheel to change how far it will fire. In terms of using it as a normal grenade launcher, setting it to the highest is good, or what I prefer to do, because you can actually hit people at range or that are hiding in like a window perhaps, but all you need to know is to point your barrel towards the enemy. But what I like to use this weapon in normal grenade launcher mode for is basically if I run into an area and there's like lots of people congregated in one area, like inside a building or around a corner or something, you load up a grenade and you can just run around the corner or peek around the corner for a second, fire the grenade and hide, and then you will actually get a fair number of kills like this. Even if you do fire at close range, you immediately can use it as a normal rifle, but quite frankly, I don't like to use this weapon as a normal rifle unless we are about to lose a point, and sitting at the back of the map doesn't really benefit the team. But in my opinion, the uniqueness of this weapon is the Mortar Mode, which is, well, I mean, it's quite similar to the one from Rising Storm 1, the Japanese get the knee mortar, but you are able to hit anywhere on the map that is within 260 meters with the MAZ-49 GL, and that is why I love to use this. And you know, I know a lot of us here prefer War Thunder over World of Tanks, but in World of Tanks, you have a thing called SPGs or artillery, and basically they can hit anywhere on the map, and they are quite literally the bane of some people's, or even my existence in World of Tanks. And I was like, why can't I use the MAZ-49 GL the same way? I can hit anywhere that's reasonable, and you know, I'm going to explain why. So I place a tunnel near an ammo crate and I sit near it if it's safe to do so. Sometimes ammo crates are in really weird positions, and also some people don't actually know this, but you use the notch on the side here to actually aim where you want the grenade to go. From my experience, the grenade doesn't go exactly where you aim it. There is some variation, especially after like a couple of 100 meters or over distance. You are able to rotate yourself. Looking up and down doesn't actually do anything except to check if there are overhanging obstructions such as trees, roofing, or Anthony trying to jump in front of you and blow you both up. But the thing is, you might have had people tell you to use the map legend to get a distance on how far you want to set the rangefinder, and for the longest time I did this, and it would do my head in, especially with the measurements on some map being a bit confusing. Like if you see the red dots from a scout or a recon, whatever, and you're trying to like do the mathematics in your head to say, okay, half of a grid of half of 108 meters is like how much? It's like 54 meters. Okay, like I gotta set the rangefinder to like, what is it, fucking 100 meters or something. It's like, it's confusing. But Anthony actually told told me, or first off, he proceeded to clown on me, and then he told me there's a much simpler way of knowing where you want to aim. Basically, if you are a squad leader, you can open up the map by pressing the M key. Some people don't actually know that, and click anywhere on the map, and it will set a rally mark in which is visible to you. So all you need to do is just line up your sight, set the range, give or take a few meters, and you can literally hit the general area. But it doesn't stop there, fellas. It actually gets better. So if the commander calls a scout, you literally can observe the path of the GIs, set a mark slightly in front of them, and you can pretty much hit them with decent accuracy, because before I'd use the grid lines, like I said, and try to estimate, you don't need to do that. If you are a squad leader, you literally can put like a laser targeted designation for you, as well as people in your squad, to hit or bombard that area. But one thing is, right, I wanted to try and get a couple of friends and stack the sapper roll and only use the MAZ 49 GL and just constantly bomb the hell out of the enemy. And the results aren't game changing, and as a squad, we didn't do that bad, considering most of us sat next to an ammo crate the whole time. But you know, a lot of us did get a fair few amount of kills. And you know, it can be annoying, or I imagine it must be annoying to die to something you can't technically counter. And also, secondly, have an explosion happen next to you every couple of seconds, and the fear of knowing that, you know, they might be getting closer and it might land on you next unless you get to cover. But you know, if you do want to get a couple of friends or have a dedicated squad to like artillery for the sapper roll, you can do that. However, the one detriment to this is if you get like 4 people perhaps, that's 4 people less that aren't actually fighting in combat. Sure, you might be hitting the enemy with artillery, but I mean, sometimes they might be undercover, sometimes you just might be missing or not getting any kills, and you know, you're better off just using like a PPSH or a MP40 or just a standard infantry class and planting traps or trying to, you know, shoot in the general direction of the enemy and try to capture points. But using this weapon in night maps, I put Night City for some reason. I was like installing Cyberpunk. I'm fucking so stupid, but city maps such as Quake can be a pain to use this for obvious reasons. You can use it like a normal grenade launcher to go around blowing people up, or you could do something more productive like plant traps with the PPSH. But on big open maps with very little roof cover or trenches, for instance, this weapon does dominate. But you know, this weapon isn't like some overpowered meta or something. You know, it's a fun weapon and it's unique in Rising Storm 2 Vietnam because, you know, it definitely changes the way that the game is played for whoever's using it. Especially, you know, if you're sick of using the standard infantry weapons and you want to try something different. Because at one point, I was only playing Sapper to use the mines and the Fugas and trying to get as many kills with traps as I possibly could. Because playing normal infantry running around trying to get kills, you know, it gets boring after a while, and this is definitely an alternate way to play the game. I also need to say that I stream every now and then on YouTube, so subscribe and hit the bell notification. The bell notification doesn't even fucking work half the time because I get people telling me, yo, I just got the notification now. It's like, whatever, man. But you know, if you do like Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, check out the playlist on screen. Anyways, my name is Tan2, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.